Y'all, one of my favorite Austin traditions starts tonight. It's the Paramount Summer Classic Film Series. This marks their 51st year, and the lineup is better than ever. So, today on CityCast Austin, I'm talking to a local journalist all about the must-see movies of the summer and why Paramount really is an Austin gem. It's Thursday, May 22nd. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hello, I am here with Eric Webb, independent reporter who covers culture in Austin. So Paramount's Summer Classic film series, it's about to begin. I'm super excited. This is kind of one of my favorite things that happened in Austin. And so before we get super into it, I want to know, what is your all-time favorite movie to watch during the summer? Do you have one that you're like, okay, it's summertime, I got to break it out?
That's such a good question. I would say that, first of all, I have kind of like a conflicted or a complicated relationship with the Summer Classic Film Series, where like the lineups are always so good and I love going, and I've seen so many great movies during the summer there, and I always have such great intentions as like doing nothing but going, and I always end up seeing just like two or something, which is fine, but I think like it is summer in Austin when you see the movie Giant at the Paramounts, the James Dean, Elizabeth Taylor movie that was filmed in Marfa. Just like seeing on that big screen, it's just so West Texas-y, which feels summery to me. You can just feel the heat, I guess. So yeah, definitely Giant.
I love that. For me, I'm going to preface what I'm about to say with I don't know why. But for me, it's three movies that for some strange reason, when the summer happens, I'm like, oh, it's time to bring them out. That's Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
To Won Fu.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for everything. And Birdcage. It's like, I'm sure there's some sort of something happening there.
You're ready to get in drag, it sounds like.
I mean, I don't know if I'm ready to get in drag or if I'm just ready to be fabulous. I think it's like, okay, you've been moping around in the house. It's time to like be outside and be fabulous and wear loose-fitting clothing. I don't know.
Those are really good picks, and you've actually inspired me, and now I'm going to rewatch all of those this summer.
I love them. So for the Summer Classic Film Series, there used to be one movie that I would watch every single year, and I would go by myself because I had all kind of like black lady shame about it, which I don't know why. And that was Gone with the Wind. I would go sit in that theater by myself and watch the entire movie and just be like, I don't know why, but it was like a ritual for a while because that was the only place that showed it. But going to the movies is such a perfect summer activity because I like the AC. There's snacks, and you can really lose yourself. So, I mean, I'm curious, like, what's your favorite thing about watching movies in the summer? Do you have any traditions like that?
I'm seeing movies all the time.
Yeah, oh, that's right. That's right, yeah.
So for me, yeah, like going to the movies during the summer is the same as going to the movies in the winter. But, as we do enter into our heat dome existence, it incentivizes me to go even more often. So maybe I'll start doing like double features, 2-a-days, get that good AC, Also, it's when big blockbusters come out.
Yeah.
And I like seeing my big superhero popcorn movies.
Same. Okay, just for anyone listening that maybe does not know, the Paramount's annual Summer Classic Film Series starts this weekend and lasts through Labor Day weekend. It's been going on for 50 years. And so, Eric, I know that you know a little bit about the history and the past, so why don't you bring us up to speed?
Okay, so real quick recap. As we all know, the historic Paramount Theater has lived many lives. It opened in 1915 as a vaudeville theater, and then it became a proper movie house. It started like with silent films, and you could see all kinds of, I think like maybe even Gone with the Wind, like you were saying, Nikki, like I'm pretty sure that played first run at the Paramount. And then the State Theater, which is the smaller theater next door, they now operate as sort of one entity. That was the first like dedicated movie house theater in Austin.
Wow.
Right, I know. So as like history went on and as Austin changed, people kind of stopped coming downtown, and business was suffering. They started showing B movies there. There were still like some big things, like the 1966 Batman movie with Adam West premiered at the Paramount, which is crazy that happened in us. But we love bats, so Batman makes sense. But by the 70s, things were like kind of in dire straits to the Paramount, and was a group of people who like really came together to like kind of revive it and bring it back to its strength. And that is how actually the Paramount Summer Classic Film Series started in 1975, because these classic films, they put butts in seats because people wanted to come see them. Because like, think about it, this is like before streaming. So like if you had a favorite
Yeah.
movie that came out a while ago, like you weren't seeing it unless maybe it came on TV, I guess. But
Hmm.
so people wanted to see the movies and they weren't that expensive to get the rights to show them. So that's how it started. It's just a way to kind of keep audiences coming into the theater, and it has become just a really beloved tradition.
I love that. I love it's just like, okay, we got to get butts and seats. How do we do that? Let's just show movies all the time, stuff you've already seen. Because I didn't even think about it that way. But yeah, like back in the day, you see something once, that's it. You saw it, it's done. You're not going to be able to see it again. And if you don't make it to go see it, that's it. You missed it.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the details. Like, how many films typically are shown, and is there any kind of like programming, like who makes the decisions about what's shown, when they're shown?
Paramount has its own programming team, and this year specifically, they're showing, I believe, more than 90 films, and there's always like fun programming tracks they do. Like, for example, there's
Yeah.
always they always do a Hitchcock, like a mini series during the series,
Yes.
which is very
Yes.
fun. This year it's in July, and they're showing several Hitchcock films, including, I'm going to say, my favorite Hitchcock film, which is Rebecca.
Oh, I've never seen that.
You gotta. They remade it. Netflix remade it recently. You don't need to watch that, but watch the original. It's Cuckoo.
I love that you're like, you don't need to watch that. You don't need to watch that.
You don't need to watch that. Yeah, but the other thing that's great about the Paramount Summer Classic Film Series is they do collaborate with other groups in the community that do some like guest programming. So like Hyperreal Film Club, Austin Film Society, Austin Asian American Film Festival. They will curate their own selections that kind of reflect their point of view as community organizations. And I
I
have
like
to
that.
mention that Robert Rodriguez, who is one of our homegrown talents, the director of movies like Spy Kids, Sin
Yeah.
City. He has done in the past like some of his like own guest selects, but he has several screenings that he's programmed during the series this year. So that should be pretty fun, including Highlander, which I love the movie Highlander. I watched it for the first time at like 4 a.m. when I couldn't sleep. It is crazy.
It's crazy and awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Highlander. I'm often known to randomly shout, there can only be one.
Well, there can only be one, but I also want to be the one. So you and I might have to meet and like in the movie duel to death with our swords, Nikki.
Yes. Yes. So let's talk genres. The genres are kind of all over the place, which is honestly my favorite thing about it. The central theme seems to be that they are classic movies or classic films. So, what is the criteria for something to be considered, and I'm putting this in quotation marks,
Mhm.
a classic film?
Okay, that's actually what's kind of genius about this series these days is the term classic is quite broad. It doesn't just mean things you would find on Turner Classic Movies. It's not just black and white stuff anymore. Like, I think in years past, I remember, too, Nikki, like we grew up here. Like, I think there used to be a little more
Yeah.
of an emphasis on it being, like kind of like what you think of as like an old Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
The perspective has broadened so much, and now it's just films that are beloved, that have some sort of cultural impact. A lot of those are like cult movies. Some of them are like big budget movies. Just a couple this year that I will highlight that are under the classics umbrella now. There is a double feature on July 13th of the X-Men movie from the 2000s and the Charlie's Angels movie from the 2000s. And I will say,
What?
well, those are classics now. I think those are
They
classics.
are classics. Okay, they're classics.
Yeah, and then also,
Dang, I am old. Yes, they're classics.
I know. Well, okay, you want to talk old, let me tell you. Then also, on August 2nd, the 25th anniversary of Miss Congeniality, the Sandra Bullock movie that filmed here. And I need to tell you, Nikki, I was an extra in that film as a child.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Okay, so now we all have to go see it so that we can see little Eric. Oh my God, I love this. So Stephen Janice is the senior director of film programming at the Paramount. And he says they start thinking about the film lineup in January, and they're open to any genre, any time period, to your point. But the ultimate goal is that there are just at least 3 to 4 films on the lineup that appeal to each individual who looks at it. And it's challenging when you're only showing 100 films, but it's definitely a fun challenge. I love that. I do like the switch that they've done over, because you're right. It used to be just like, like old movies. I used to date a guy that was an RTF major, and we went every single year. I saw Lawrence of Arabia like 7 times or something ridiculous like that. But then it would show things like The Conformist and 24 Blows, and I feel like you had to be an RTF major to know, to know what any of these movies were. You know what I mean? And it was great and it was cool. I'm loving that they're moving towards incorporating, you know, stuff for us, like stuff for me, like Charlie's Angels. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And well, to your point, I really like how they have gotten to a place so they can really maintain the balance because, as you know, like there's a tradition every year the series opens with Casablanca, which is like the ultimate, classic film fan movie. And this year, the opening night, it's a double feature of Casablanca and Jean-Luc Godard's Breathless for its 65th anniversary, which is a like cinephile movie, like you were saying.
Yes.
But then, like June 8th, you can go see Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So...
Yes. Do you know, I don't think that I've ever seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure on a big screen. A lot of the reasons that I go to the classic film series is that there are lots of movies I've seen, but for whatever reason, never saw on the big screen. One of the big ones for me was The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite movies. I can't even get into it because I'll start crying. I don't even know what kind of a chokehold that movie has on me, but it just does. The Wizard of Oz and The Wiz, for 2 different reasons, it's a mess. But the first time I ever saw that movie on the big screen was because of the Paramount. And it's like, and I feel like I'm not alone in that. I don't think.
No, I don't think you are. And there's just so many great things. I mean, for the 50th anniversary of Jaws, they're doing a screening of that. I've never actually seen Jaws, which is like a huge blind spot for me. I know. You're looking at me like I've like just like killed someone.
I cannot wait. Okay, listen, I know we are not BFFs like that, but the minute you see it, I need to know what you think about it. Because that movie is, to me, cuckoo bananas. It's bananas. And like you only see the shark once, but it's like the way that they make you terrified of a shark that you only see one time is brilliant. I don't want to get into it because I'll nerd out about it a lot. So speaking of, like, we're kind of speaking of this, like there are so many screenings. And sometimes for me, I'm just like, I don't know who to pick. If you had to narrow it down to your top, I can already see it. I wish everybody could see. Eric just like threw his head back like, oh my God, don't ask me to do this. I know. If you could narrow it down to like 5, 6, 7 films at this year's Summer Classic Film Series, what would you recommend?
Okay, I can't actually do this because I did go through... I wish you could see my notes. I like put all of my picks and then it was too many. And then I like went back through and bolded like my sub picks of my picks. No, I can do this. Okay. So June 12th, The Red Shoes, which is a Powell and Pressburger movie from England. It is absolutely gorgeous. That is one that I have never seen on the big screen and demands to be seen on the big screen. It's just like one of those like early kind of color films where the colors are just like, it looks like everything is just coated in like sequins and Jello powder. So have to see that.
Yes.
June 15th, Call Me By Your Name, which is one of my favorite movies. I've seen it. I actually did see it like 13 times, I think, in theaters.
I have still never seen that movie.
It is devastating. I love Luca Guadagnino, the director. So that one. June 16th, a movie called Happy Together by Wong Kar-wai, a Hong Kong director. A gorgeous, gorgeous film. I will also say August 28th, Empire Records, the one with Liv Tyler. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, Damn the Man, Save the Empire. A great cult film.
Yeah. It's Rex Manning Day. Yeah.
It's Rex Manning Day. I always celebrate Rex Manning Day. Then on August 29th, we've got the Rocky Horror Picture Show for the 50th anniversary. And I actually did recently see Rocky Horror Picture Show at the Paramount, the most recent time they played it. And it is an experience because that is a movie that, like when you see a movie, you are obviously supposed to be a polite and conscientious moviegoer and
Yes.
don't talk and
Yes.
stuff and let
Yes.
everyone else around you enjoy the experience. But I feel like at a Rocky Horror Picture Show screening, that is like the quintessential midnight movie where saying the lines like as they happen, quoting along is like kind of part of the experience.
You have
So
to. And you have to dress up.
you have to dress up. If I don't see you dress up, there will be trouble. And then I'm going to wrap it up with on August 30th, Hyperreal Film Club is showing Cabaret, the classic Liza Minnelli film, which
What?
is sort of like the, platonic ideal of the Liza Minnelli experience. And unfortunately, it does have perhaps some political relevance for today. So
Yep.
I think it might be good to, go refresh yourself.
Cabaret is one of my favorite musicals, hands down. I quote it all the time. I sing it all the time. It's, in my opinion, flawless. Come at me. I love it. Hey y'all, it's Nikki. I have to tell you about Takova's boots. I finally have a pair, and I don't know if y'all know this, but they're handmade, high quality, and stylish. And they're comfortable right outside of the box. Now, I know we buy everything online these days, but trust me, you have to get fitted for some boots at Takova's. Now, whether you're like me, a newbie to boots, or you have a closet full of them, the folks at Takova's will help you find your next favorite pair. So, grab a friend, head on over to the Takova's flagship on South Congress or their store at the Domain. Plus, good news, they just opened a store in Georgetown at 709 Main Street for those of you that live just a little further north. With 3 locations in town, you have no excuses. So, that's tecovas.com. TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all. Y'all, there's something going on this summer that's a little far away, but if you're an adventurous theater lover, it should definitely be on your radar. The Williamstown Theater Festival. It's from July 17th to August 3rd among the Berkshire Mountains in northwestern Massachusetts. And there are over 130 artists that will take the stage for nearly 100 performances. It's a theater festival like no other and has been going on for 70 years. Weekend passes include admission to 8 shows, including a world premiere by Jeremy O. Harris, plus a Tennessee Williams show starring Pamela Anderson, Nicholas Alexander Chavez, and Whitney Peak, and a new adaptation of a Samuel Barber opera. Discounted hotel rooms are available through June 1st. So head on over to WTFestival.org and make your plans to immerse yourself in theater this summer. That's WTFestival.org. I want to know, what are some of your favorite moments from previous years? What are some of those moments where you've been sitting in the theater and you're like, yes, this is why I love movies. This is why I do what I do. You know what I mean? Have you ever had those moments during the film series?
Yes, I have one really great example. There's this movie named Columbus, directed by this director named Kogonada, and it stars John Cho and Haley Lee Richardson and Parker Posey of The White Lotus, which we all know.
Yeah.
And it is a beautiful movie that I had discovered during the pandemic on just some streaming service, and it is about 2 people who find themselves in a small town and kind of intersect at points in their lives where Haley Richardson's character really wants to get out of town. John Cho's character's father is dying in the town, so he's just passing through. And it is one of the most still, quiet, beautiful movies about the relationships we make with people who may just pass through our lives.
Ooh.
And one time they were showing this at the Paramount Summer Classic Film Series, and I was so shocked that they were showing it because I just never thought that I would be able to see that movie in such a grand, amazing movie theater space like the Paramount. The other thing about the movie is that part of it's about like modernist architecture, which I don't know if I'm selling this movie at all, but there's these beautiful shots of these like beautiful, amazing buildings in
Yeah.
there. So just like seeing it in that space, it was just an experience that like I never would have thought I would have been able to have, and I did. So that's the kind of like magic that awaits.
I love that. I love that. Oh man. Okay. So now you've covered Austin culture for several years now, and in my opinion, you're an expert. So why do you think the Summer Classic Film Series is something that Austinites have kept going to?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is it is a tradition, and it is part of that like old Austin identity. And the people who love Austin want to see it continue, want to see it keep going. And the other thing is, I just think it's like really accessible. I think it's a cool, accessible event that
Mm.
you can go to in the summer months. Like we said earlier, you're looking for AC, you're looking for snacks, but you're also just like looking for fun things to do. If I'm ever like don't have something to do, but I'm like feeling stir crazy, need to get out, what's showing at the Paramount Summer Classic Film Series? Like there's just always something going on there. And so I just think I think it's a wonderful thing that came about at one time to help save this Austin landmark. And I think its continued existence is just like continuing to save Austin's soul. And I think it's beautiful.
Okay, I'm curious. Where do you think is the best place to sit?
So it depends on if you care about like really being in like the thick of it, or if you don't mind like being, you know, a little removed. If you're a balcony person, I do think that like right side of the balcony, just a few rows up from the rail, so like your view isn't blocked, is kind of
Mm-hmm.
usually my preferred spot. And if not,
Oh.
and if not that, do not sleep on the outside aisle seats on the lower level. Sometimes like, you know, the one thing about the Paramount, since it's an older venue, there are like some spots where like the view maybe isn't like ideal.
Yeah.
But if you can get like one of the seats on the lower level outside aisles that is like just on the edge of like where you can like get a full view, that is great because you can get up and go to the bathroom, like go up and get snacks.
So I love the Paramount. I love the Paramount. I think it's beautiful and all the things. I hate the chairs, the seating. My hips don't fit in it. Every time I go, I have to be like, can you just give me a folding chair and just put, you can put me anywhere you want. I just need a folding chair because I can't have my thighs squeezed. And so like, that's the thing that I hate about the Paramount. It's just the seats don't fit my body. The thing that I love about it is literally everything else. I mean, from the stage to the green room. I love the green room. I know that not everybody gets a chance to be backstage in the dressing rooms in the green room, but I've been fortunate enough to be back there and it's so cool. And there's like things written on the walls and everything is just really beautiful. And so I'm curious, like, what do you love and hate about the Paramount?
I will I will diplomatically and gently and kindly agree with you on the seats and say, without putting the Paramount on blast, I will say,
Fair.
I understand that you are a historic theater. I understand that there are like
Yes.
certain preservation things that come along with that.
Yes.
However, I do like a bigger seat, and I do like a seat with a little more plush, let's say, you know.
Yeah.
As far as what I love about it, I don't know. I've been going there for various things. Like since I was a little kid, we took field trips there to go see like dance performances and stuff when I was a kid. So it just sort of has that place in my heart. It's also a place where I feel like so much cool stuff and so many famous people and so many events
Yeah.
just like have filtered through it in my 36 years on Earth. And there's, you know, it's where so much of South by happens, and I love South by, and it's where Moon Tower Comedy Festival happens, and I've seen so many of my favorite comics there, and just like lost my mind laughing. Uh, it's also just so beautiful. One of my kind of pet peeves is there's so much new building in town, and there's so many new structures,
Yep.
and everything looks so freaking boring to me.
Yep. Yes.
Like,
Yes.
where
Yes.
is the beauty?
Yes. Where is the opulence? Where is it?
The Paramount was built at a time when people who were building things wanted them to look beautiful. They wanted them to be art. And it truly is art. If you go to the Paramount, next time you go, just like lean back in your kind of small seat and look up at the ceiling. The ceiling of the Paramount is gorgeous. It is like the Sistine Chapel, and it is
It's
like
gorgeous.
it is cuckoo if you just sit there and think for a second, like, this is in Austin. Like,
Yeah.
we have this.
Yeah.
You could see this, like, what the ceiling looks like and just the architecture of the balcony and the boxes and stuff. Like, this would not look out of place in any major city in the world, I don't think. And it's right here in Austin.
It is a beautiful theater. And also, I think that I really love the staff's like commitment to keeping the beauty of the theater. Paramount and Stateside Theater their staff is just great. I mean, from like the crew up to, like the people at the top, everybody that I've come into contact with, everybody that I've worked with has been just really wonderful people. And they love movies and they love like Austin and they love that we have this special thing. I'm sure there's someone listening that maybe has never been to the Paramount. I don't know what you're doing with your life. But but you have lots of opportunities to go for pretty affordable. $15 it's on par. You're seeing it in a beautiful theater. You're seeing some stuff that you can't see anywhere else. Like, yeah, y'all got to get y'all's butts out to the Paramount and see how pretty it is.
And you can also get a FlixTix pass pack, which is a pack of like 10 tickets that are good for the whole summer. And the regular price, just for, people who aren't members of the theater, is $90, which, like $90 at once could be a commitment, but you get 10 tickets. So it's a real savings if you're planning on seeing 10 movies. And also that might incentivize you to see 10 movies.
Right. I love this. So are you going to be there opening night? Are you going to be there like to see Casablanca? Or are you going to, have you figured out what your first movie is going to be yet?
I need to spend some more time with the schedule and really marinate. I don't think I'm going to go for the opening night, but for like some of the earlier stuff, Jaws, again, on May 24th.
Of course.
And I also have my eyes on May 28th. They're doing a double feature of Christopher Guest's Best in Show and Waiting for Guffman.
Wait, yeah, whoa. When is this?
This is on May 28th. It's a double feature. So you buy one ticket, you get to see both.
Okay, hold on. First of all, Best in Show, classic. Mm-hmm. Iconic. Waiting for Guffman is so underrated. If anybody listening to me if you've never seen Waiting for Guffman and you can't make it to the Paramount Theater on the 28th, you will not be disappointed. It is so good. Just seeing Christopher Guest with his pants on backwards rapping, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's show day, y'all. I love it.
I love it. I haven't seen it in so long, and I think I might need to do it.
Well, I know what I'm going to be doing on the 28th. Done and done.
We're making plans here.
We're making plans. I'm not going to miss that. I'm not missing that, period. That sounds like the perfect day to me. Shout out to the Paramount. Shout out to the Paramount staff and their ushers who volunteer and the crew. Thank y'all for keeping it going. It's amazing. We love it. Eric, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for once again just like turning a regular ass morning to a delightful morning. It's always so fun to talk to you. I appreciate you being here.
God, Nikki, the pleasure is all mine. I'm also so happy to be here.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. You can find links to Eric's newsletter and social media in our show notes. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, take them to a Paramount movie, rate our show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.